All right, folks, how's it going? It's been a while, and it's been quite a relatively busy while in terms of the portfolio as well. So I thought I'd just give you an update. I haven't done a portfolio valuation for a while, so I've just it's not going to be a full update. But I just thought I'd show you what I've done to a portfolio. So I'm going to struggle to remember actually, aren't I? But yeah, 25th of February I sold, so I sold all of my smaller companies ones except for BlackRock smaller companies. So yeah, I think I just had a rush of blood to the head as usual, and just decided to get this ball rolling quicker on selling the stuff that isn't going to stay long term. So JP Morgan US smaller companies, Montenero European smaller companies, I think, and then the small cap 600 tracker, and all of the proceeds just went into the total returns portfolio. So whatever needed to go in to make it the target balance. And then again on the same day, actually, yeah. So what did I do? So I just moved some money from the invest account in Trading 212 into the ISA. So yeah, I must have had a bit of cash in the ISA. So I've moved GSK, about a grand's worth of GSK. Just right. So I see here that it's the previous move. So it must have been these moves here. I must have done them in a way that freed up cash. Yes, it's because the SIT, the LISA, and the iWeb ISA, they all had cash waiting in them. So when I sold these ones to buy the Black Total Return portfolio, I could use more cash in there. When I sold in there, I could buy more. So that freed up cash, allowing me to do a nice little amount of GSK putting into the ISA. That's what it is. Yeah, I remember now. Now, what does this say? Total return income now over 6k. Right, so in my spreadsheet where I kind of track my dividends, I used to have that every quarter, but obviously the more and more I put into the Black portfolio, the bigger it is. So the kind of lumpier my income becomes by having it quarterly. So based on those moves, I decided to just make it monthly. So all I've done is just rearrange this portfolio, and now I'll sell a smaller amount monthly rather than doing it every 3 months with a larger amount. And because I've got a significant amount of that total return portfolio in Trading 212, none of it will cost me any money to do any of the selling. So that's another reason why monthly is fine now, because there's no cost to it, because I've got enough. I think no matter what rebalancing I need to do, when it comes to like when I take my monthly amount out of it, I'm going to take it from whichever one gets me closest to the target return. So it doesn't matter which one of those it'll be. I think I've got enough in there in Trading 212 now where I can do it without having to pay a fiver to do the transaction. So yeah, the extra frequency of it doesn't matter. And then what's here? The 9th of March, I sold the rest of IEM. Right, so the tender offer for Impact's environmental markets didn't happen because Saba said no. So that meant that I was free to sell it again. So I just sold the rest of it. And I also sold a big chunk of Lowland out of the general investment account. Not all of it. There's a little bit left. And then I bought Aku with the proceeds in Trading 212 Invest. So that was realising some gains so that I could use as much as I could that will then hopefully next year not restrict what I have to sell. I mean, to be honest, the dip in the markets we've had is helping that a lot, because if I could sell stuff in what's that, about a week and a half's time, we'll be on the 6th of April. If the markets haven't recovered a lot, I can get a lot more into my ISA next tax year right at the beginning because prices are lower. And I think if I remember correctly, I'm now with my see here are all my unsheltered gains at the moment. It's only 2 grand, so I could sell 20 grand's worth and not breach my capital gains tax allowance right at the beginning of the tax year. You know, if markets don't recover in time. So yeah, that's that problem I did that video on. I think it was the last video or the one before maybe. That problem's kind of temporarily gone away of the markets don't recover too quickly, because I'll be able to do a massive chunk of that on the first week of the tax year probably, without having to go over my £3,000. And then I sold all of the Growthy Pie. So, and I put it all into the total return sub portfolio. I think what my thinking was on that was, no matter how well that Growthy Pie did or didn't do, I was thinking to myself, it's not going to make me increase my income. So no matter how badly it does or how good it does, it still had that tiny dividend yield, which would have grown. I mean, it would have grown by more, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, the low dividend yield also makes it also just brought down the yield here that I've got of the total return portfolio. It's now only 2.44, so it helped a bit in getting that number lower. And obviously, the lower that number is, the more sustainable it is, and the bigger kind of rises I can decide to take each year when I decide to increase how much I take from it in pound terms. So obviously, by putting in a really low yield, which is what the total return, the Growthy Pie was, I think it was like 0.3% or something, the yield on that, because it was mostly growthy. So it just gives my total return portfolio more of a growth potential in terms of what I withdraw from it. So yeah, just basically just having a complete about turn on my whole portfolio, really. Yeah, so there was some bad news for NESF, and I took the opportunity to rebalance a bit from GSF to NESF. So that's Gore Street Energy battery storage into Next Energy solar, and it makes it a lot more balanced as well, because with my three renewable trusts there, these numbers, it was such that Gore Street Energy was like way bigger than the other two. It was like 12 grand, and the other one was like 5 grand and 5 grand. So it's now a bit more balanced, and actually it's a bit less balanced than it was a few days ago, because Gore Street Energy's had some good, well, not good news. It's just kind of the share price has gone up quite a bit recently because they've decided to start paying out loads of dividends for Gore Street Energy, even though they recently did the opposite. They were like, no, we need to grow the NAV, we need to reinvest. They took that decision, and then we got this new what's it called, this new fella, head of the board, is it? I forget the name. The chairman of the board, that's it, I think. That joke on Conan. Is board spelt B-O-R-E-D? Who was that? The guy who died recently, didn't he? I forget. Anyway. Yeah, so he's just done an about turn on that. I keep saying about turn. And he's just like, oh, let's just throw lots of dividends at the shareholders. And the shareholder seems to love it because the share price has gone up. But to me, I don't know. To me, it's just financial engineering. And I'm like, I don't know. It seems like a short-term measure to kind of please people without looking to the long term. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I suppose I'm happy that it's gone up short-term, but who knows. Anyway, they're all the moves I've made. I just wanted to tell you about them before they got so old that I forgot what they were all about. Yeah, anything else of note happening here? Obviously the portfolio's down. I don't actually know how much the portfolio's down because I haven't done any. Well, obviously I can see the numbers. We were about 460 grand before it started going down, I think. But I haven't done any unitization measurements recently, so I don't really know if I'm doing well or not for the past month or so. I guess in a few days I'll be doing evaluation on it, so I'll know then. Yeah, I also realised on the last video, I realised that I hadn't shown you any photos for a while, so I guess I'll show you some photos. This was Chiang Mai. Just a random walk I went on. I take random I don't take many photos, and the photos I do take are pretty random. They're not like the best thing I've seen for weeks. It's just the random thought of taking a photo goes into my head. These random moments. And there's an elephant there by the looks of it. A statue of an elephant. And then I went on the plane to Vietnam. Got in the taxi to the Airbnb in Hanoi. It was a Vincom, not a Vincom, VinFast electric vehicle. That's the first EV I've ever been in, actually. It seemed pretty nice. Apparently the build quality is not great on VinFasts, but obviously I was in Vietnam, so it wasn't a surprise that that was the car that picked me up. That's just the journey. It was near Christmas, so there was a little Christmas tree in the Airbnb in Hanoi. Just some random lake thing near the Airbnb. Same thing from a different angle. This was a shopping centre. I quite like this. It was a cool way of doing it because there's like lots of like apartments in the big tall buildings, and then underneath where I was stood, going right across this little like I don't know what the word for it is, but this whole paved area underneath it, the length of it was a shopping centre underground. So you got your shopping centre underground, and then you can just get to it dead easy from the apartments above if you live there. That's me. See, I hardly taken any photos because this is a month later now. This is me leaving Hanoi to go to Dalat. Yeah, this is me on the bus to the airport. Bus to the airport. The airport. Bus. Why is there another bus after the airport? That makes no sense. There's a timing issue here. This is me in Dalat. I think I'm just walking to my Airbnb here from the. No, I'm not. No, because I shared a taxi with some random guy because there wasn't enough people to get the bus. It's like a shuttle bus, but there wasn't enough people, so me and this other guy shared a taxi. So this must have been later on in that day. There's a lake in Dalat, and I'm just walking around it there. I'm on the other side of the road, I think. This is a picture from a little shopping centre to the lake in Dalat. And I sent this photo to my mum saying, Mum, maybe I could do this next. Just get myself a little moped and a tent and I can live like that. Because she thinks I'm silly because I always go for all the cheapest Airbnbs and stuff, and she keeps telling me to go for the bigger ones. So I'm teasing her with this. I think my mate said, "What's the food like?" and then send me some photos. So I think he immediately regretted me asking me to send photos of my food, because then I just sent loads of photos of my food. Well, two's not loads, is it? But I did carry on. That's in Dalat again. I don't actually know what it is. Some sort of house of worship, I suppose. I don't really know, to be honest. I just like the building. I'm not much of a tourist. I don't go looking at all the sites. I just kind of exist in different areas every month. And this is me catching the bus from Dalat to Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon. I've done this before, and it's a sleeping bus. But this was travelling in the daytime. I find these seats really uncomfortable. I'd rather sit upright. I have a better chance of sleeping if I sit upright than on these ones. Because I've taken that bus before overnight and didn't sleep a wink. And that was the food on the way to halfway. They stop. Well, they stop a few times for pee breaks, but one of the times they stop for 20 minutes, or maybe it was half an hour. I can't remember. So you can get some food halfway through the day. And then this is what is this? Oh, it's the local bus, right? So I got off the main bus on the outskirts of town and jumped on a local bus. 6 Vietnamese dong these buses were. That works out at about 20p, maybe 6, 12. Yeah, probably about 20p each bus, no matter how long well, I think you do pay a bit more if you go really far, but they don't ask you. They just take 6 from you, no matter where you're going. Makes it simpler. This was in Ho Chi Minh. Don't know what that building is. I really should have found out what that building is because I walked past it about 20 times when I was there. Like I say, I don't do anything touristy. This is how crap some of the Airbnbs are that I go to. This door wouldn't close, and I couldn't get that bolt to go in there and close the door. And I always get very paranoid about mosquitoes getting in, so I didn't want a crack. And luckily in the sink that's just to the right of this door, in the sink there was this metal chopstick, and there was this sink drainer thingy, and I could put it like that, and that would hold the door shut properly. So I was quite lucky there to find the right implements. Where am I catching the bus? And why do I always take pictures in buses? I think it's because that's when I'm bored. Alright, so this is me leaving Ho Chi Minh, I guess. This was only a few days ago, I think. Going to Bangkok, which is where I am now. Yeah, this is me just showing me mum pictures of my journey as usual. Killing time in Bangkok, in Ho Chi Minh City Airport. I'm on the plane, waiting for it to move. And this is the day after I'd arrived in Bangkok, and this is the boat that I keep getting. I've got this boat a couple of times actually, from my current Airbnb where I'm sat now to like this big shopping centre, and I had the bloody cursor there the whole time. It's a cool little boat. It's 13 baht, depending on where you go, but it's like I don't know, like 30p for me to get, and it's a lot quicker to catch this boat than it is to catch a bus because there's no traffic, obviously. And we're back to the start. Oh yeah, this is just... I send me mum this because she goes dancing all the time. So I showed her that in Hanoi there's loads of these little random areas on the street where they sort of dance. Oh yeah, this is where I stopped for that food on the bus. And this is Ho Chi Minh City again.
On the river.
The river.
Lots of buildings and a big bridge.
This is that boat again, different day though. In fact, this was today, wasn't it? 24th of the 3rd, no, 2 days ago. It was today. I made another video of the boat. I get rather interested in boats, don't I, by the looks of it. I do enjoy the little boat ride there. I enjoy it because it's cheap. And I'm cheap. I guess I'll sit. Well, and here's the portfolio as it stands now. So obviously it's nice that it all fits on one page, isn't it? That's the important thing. But yeah, as you can see, Lowland is just waiting to go. I think part of the reason for that is I don't want to breach the 50 grand of sales, because at the moment I've sold, in this tax year, I've sold 48,970. And if you go over 50 grand, even if you don't owe tax, you have to give them all the details. So I don't want to be bothered having to collate all of the details. I'd rather keep myself below the limit and not have to give them all the details, because there's more stuff I need to find out if that's what I have to do. So I'd rather keep it simple. And I've as you can see here, I'm below 2 grand, so I could sell the whole lot and not have to pay tax next year. Anyway, there's my little update video. I'll see you next time, I guess. Bye bye.